What we are witnessing today, ladies and gentlemen, is the greatest transfer of wealth that has ever occurred in the history of mankind. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it was our last live stream that we had on Tuesday, or maybe it was Sunday. I'm senile, so excuse me. Where I said that the next major crisis is going to be a financial collapse. And why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Let me tell you why I think that is. So the establishment right now, they are trying to subdue the population with everything that's going on. However, it seems that a very large part of the population here in the United States at least is not going along to get along. And they need to make sure that everyone goes along to get along. Well, like I said, a lot of people aren't going to do it. So how are they going to subdue the American people? I believe it's with an economic collapse. It's going to be with an economic collapse where people lose everything, and then they can bring in their next great solution, which will be a digital currency. Controlled by whom? None other than the Federal Reserve / government. Because I do believe that they are two in one. If anything, the Federal Reserve owns our government. But I digress. Once they have a digital currency, ladies and gentlemen, they will be able to tell you where you can and cannot buy, if you can buy, and what you can buy. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're not one of those that goes along to get along, if you know what I mean, you may not even be able to buy. They will be able to control everything about you. They will know everything about you, because everything that you purchase and or sell paints a picture of who you are. Here, Michael Schneider says, I think that they actually believed that they could get away with it. I think that they were actually convinced that they could create, borrow, and spend trillions upon trillions of dollars without any serious long-term consequences. But they should have known better. The people running things are very highly educated, and after spending decades getting to their current positions, they are supposed to be experts that we can trust with very difficult decisions. Unfortunately, the experts have put us on a path that leads to currency collapse and financial ruin. And ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't have said it any better. The only caveat that I would add to that is that the experts, they know exactly what they are doing. What we are witnessing today, ladies and gentlemen, is the greatest transfer of wealth that has ever occurred in the history of mankind. And it's happening right now. It's transferring your labor and your liberty from the masses, the middle class and the poor, over to those that have more money than what they need. Now, don't get me wrong. If you earned your money, if you worked hard, made something that a lot of people wanted, and solved problems, and because of that, you became a millionaire or even a billionaire, then good for you. Because that's the American dream, to be able to build a life that you are proud of and be able to pass on to your children and be able to die an easy death. Meaning that when you die, you can die with a clear conscience, knowing that you did everything that you could and that your children and your family will be okay. So good on you if you made it. But ladies and gentlemen, there are many people up top that are not satisfied with merely having money. They want it all, and they're going to try to take it all. All throughout history, there have been many governments that have given in to the temptation to create money at an exponential rate, and it has ended badly every single time. So our leaders should have known better. And like I said, they do know better, ladies and gentlemen. But it is just so tempting because pumping out money like crazy always seems to work out just great at first. For example, when the Weimar Republic first started wildly creating money, it created an economic boom. But we all know how that experiment turned out. This week, the mainstream media is full of talk about inflation, and many of the talking heads seem mystified that things have gotten so bad. But anyone with half a brain should have been able to see what was coming. And here he points out the M2 money supply, ladies and gentlemen, which I have pointed out several times, showing the exponential rate at which money is being pumped into the economy. Unfortunately, that money, that wealth is being transferred over to the top, I would say, 10%. And it is your wealth, ladies and gentlemen. It is your labor that is being taken from you every time that money is printed. So be careful what you ask for when you ask a handout from the government, because they can do one of two things. They can either take the money directly from someone else to give it to you, or they can take a little bit from everyone by printing money and then give it to you. You're giving up your freedom for that loaf of bread. That's why we all have to be prepared. I'll go ahead and leave the link to this article at the very bottom of the description of the video so that you can revisit it if you like, but I'll go ahead and finish off with this. He goes on to say, I think that our leaders deceived themselves into thinking that they could get away with creating money so recklessly, but they have not. Very painful inflation is here, and on Wednesday we learned that prices have been rising at the fastest pace in more than 30 years. The Consumer Price Index, which is a basket of products ranging from gasoline and healthcare to groceries and rents, rose 6.2% from a year ago, the most since 1990. On a monthly basis, the CPI increased 0.9% against a 0.6% estimate. Wow, that's 50% higher than what they were estimating on a monthly basis, ladies and gentlemen. That's double digits, really. That's 10.08% inflation over 12 months. If inflation continues to rise at about 1% a month, it won't be too long before we all well into double digits on a yearly basis. Of course, I don't actually put too much faith in the inflation numbers that the government gives, because the way inflation is calculated has been changed more than 24 times since 1980. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, anyone that believes that this 6.2% inflation is accurate, then you don't go shopping at the grocery store, because you know that everything has gone up a lot more than 6.2%. Look at gasoline, look at heating oils or heating gases, and also look at the price of food. According to John Williams, if inflation was still calculated the way it was back in 1980, the official rate of inflation would be close to 15% right now. One of the factors that is driving up the overall rate of inflation is the price of gasoline. If you can believe it, the price of gas is almost 50% higher than it was this time last year. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave it off at that. Listen, we're going to go ahead and talk about how we are going to have to prepare to have an underground economy in the future during this afternoon's live stream. I hope to see you there, but most of all, I hope that you all have a great day. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.